All right, so today we're going to be learning about multiplicative word problems. And these are the key words that we're looking for whenever we are multiplying. So here it says Jack reads 3 books each month. So if you notice, each means multiply. Every, the word per, a, and. Okay, these are our key words that we're looking for multiply. So Jack reads 3 books each month. So we're going to take the number of books and we would multiply it. Remember, the dot in the middle means multiply by each month. So by the numbers a month. So we would take 3 and multiply it by months. Or remember, we can simply just write the rule as 3m. Remember, when there's nothing in between the number and the variable, that means that we're also going to multiply. So we can say 3 times m or just 3m. That already means multiply. All right, here it says Alex walks 2 miles every day. So this word means 1. So if he walks 2 miles every day, we would take 2 and multiply by the number of days. But we don't know what days are. So our rule would simply just be 2D. Okay? Let's look at the next one. The activity costs $12 per person. Our key word here is per. So here we would take 12 times the number of people. So 12 times the people, or 12p. Okay? The apples were $1.50 a pound. That means that we're going to look at our word a. That means that we are multiplying. So here we're going to take $1.50 and we're going to multiply it by the number of pounds that we have, because it's a pound. Therefore, each pound is going to be $1.50. So if there's more than one, you're going to multiply. Or you can simply write it as 150p. Remember, because that's showing that you're multiplying when there's nothing in between it. The parsley was 50 cents an ounce. So that means every ounce you paid 50 cents. So here we can write 50 cents times the number of ounces, or just 50 cents with an O. Okay? So remember, if the wording means 1, then you're going to multiply. That means for every 1, you have to multiply it by that number. Now here it says Mr. O'Brien gets 12 hours of vacation for every month he works. Write an equation that represents the relationship between M, months of work, and V, hours of vacation. So if you look here, this is going to be our total, and this is going to be what we're multiplying by. So here it says 12 hours of vacation for every month. So every means for every 1 month. So we would multiply 12 times the number of months. So our answer would be 12 times m, or remember, we can simply just write it as 12m as we did above. So 12 times the number of months is going to equal our total vacation time. So our total would be, our equation would be V equals 12m. Vacation hours equals 12 times the number of months. So let's go ahead and let's label some things that we've learned before. Let's label our dry and our mix. Same thing here. Dry, mix. Okay. We always want to remember our independent variables go with the x, and our dependent variables go with the y. Okay? Now that being said here, let's go ahead and fill in the graph. If Mr. O'Brien worked 0 months, that means 0 times 12 would be 0, which makes sense. If he didn't work any months, he's not going to get any vacation hours. After 1 month, we would multiply by 12. 1 month times 12 is 12. So after 1 month, Mr. O'Brien would earn 12 hours of vacation. 2 times 12 would be 24, and 3 times 12 would be 36. So we took the number of months and multiplied it by 12 to get our total vacation hours. Now what we would do is put that into a graph. So remember, this would be our x, and then our y would be the vacation. So our first ordered pair would be 0, 0, which means we would start right here at the origin. Our next ordered pair would be 1, 12. So we would go over to the 1 and up to the 12. Then our next ordered pair would be 2, 24. So see how we get the 2 here and the 24 there? So we'd go over to 2, up to 24. And then our last ordered pair would be 3, 36. So we would go over to 3 and up to 36. And it says independent. So our independent, which is our I, would be our x value. So our independent would be our months, and our dependent, which is our y, dependent is y, would be our vacation. So this would be vacation hours. Okay, so don't forget, each time you see it, you're going to do dry mix, okay? So now it says here, use the graph to predict the number of hours of vacation that Mr. O'Brien would earn in 4 months. Now you could figure this out several ways. You could take your number of months, because we know 12M is our rule, and that's going to equal our vacation hours. So we could plug in 4 into M, so 12 times 4 equals 48. Or you can simply follow the graph, right? And we know that 4 is going to be 48. And if it graphs, if it makes that line, then you know that you've done it correctly. All right. Again, let's go ahead and let's look at some more multiplicative words here. It says Mr. Harrison is buying apples for 50 cents a, that's my key word here, pound. That means we're going to take our 50 cents and we're going to multiply it by the number of pounds. It says to write an equation to find the cost of pounds of apples. So this is going to equal C. We're going to take our 50 cents, we're going to multiply it by pounds, and that's going to equal our total cost. So we can also write that as C equals 50 cents and then P behind it. Remember, the dot in the middle and nothing in between them mean the same thing. Let's go ahead and let's label our dry and our mix. Dry goes on the bottom, mix goes on the top. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's fill in the table using the rule here. If we had 0 times 50 cents, that's going to be 0, right? Because anything times 0 is 0. $1 times, 1 times 50 cents is 50 cents. If I did 2 times 50 cents, or 50 cents plus 50 cents, that would equal $1. And then if I did 5 times 50 cents, or I could ask myself, what's half of 5? That would be $2.50. Okay? Now we need to graph that information. So here we're going to start at the origin. It should be 0, 0 first. Then we know 1 is 50 cents, 2 is $1, and then 5 is $2.50. So about there. Okay? And if you notice when we connect it, it still makes that line. Okay? And then here it asks the independent variable is, remember independent is your X. So that is your pounds. And then it says use the graph to predict the cost of 9 pounds of apples. You could simply follow the line or say 50 cents times 9. Or ask yourself what is half of 9, which would be $4.50. So if you bought 9 pounds of apples, that would be $4.50. All right, let's look at this last one here. It says Alex walks 2 miles each day. So we're going to take 2 times the number of days, because remember, each is our multiplication word. It says which graph represents the relationship between total miles walked, which is y, and the number of days, x. So remember, our total is going to be y. So basically, we're looking for which one is showing us taking the number of miles and multiplying by 2. So we're going to have to make a little table out to the side here. We're going to have to label X and Y, okay? And I can see here that when X is 0, Y is 1. Already that doesn't follow the rule because 0 times 2 should be 0. So A is already gone. All right, let's try B. We have our X and our Y, right? So I see here when X is 0, Y is also 0. Okay, so that's to a good start. Okay, when I'm going to plot a dot on the line. When X is 1, Y is 2. Okay, that looks good so far. Let's try another one. I'm going to plot a dot on the line. When X is 2, I can clearly see Y is 4. Okay, so that works. Let's see if it works. Remember, we got to check it twice. So let's see. We have 0 times 2 equals 0. 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So I see here that this is meeting the rule of 2 times the number of days is giving me my total. So my answer here would be B.